As the island spirals deeper into infestation chaos, Battle Royale is gearing up for the final live event of the chapter. Cracks between realms are multiplying fast, and soon, everything is about to collapse. The final battle with the Spirit Realm is here. The Curse of the Cube is back, and the last reality is in the mix again too. Season 4 is just about to kick off. But here's the wild part. While we've been dealing with everything infected, slimy, and crawly, the real storyline has been unfolding behind the scenes this whole time. So get comfy, because I'm about to break it all down for you. The plot of the latest Chapter 6 season got darker, weirder, and honestly, kinda stranger. So today we're breaking down what really happened to the 0 Point Vault, how the bugs actually crawled their way onto the island. And I want to start with the most mysterious detail of this whole season, the Hive invasion. These creepy bugs already carved out a whole quarter of the island for themselves, and judging by their appetite, they're nowhere near done. Meanwhile, as you're watching this video, the infestation is spreading by the second, and Utopia City didn't survive the wake. Once a shining beacon built around the 0 Point Vault, it's now been completely overrun by the Hive. Offices, parks, restaurants, all of it is being consumed, dragging the entire city into this buzzing nightmare. Its buildings lie in ruins. Everything's coated in hives and goo. The bugs have turned it into their personal hive empire, into a living horror. But here's the part that really messes with me. Remember back when Utopia City had an entrance? It's just gone. Not only is it missing, but there isn't a single mention of it anywhere. I talked to every NPC across the island, switched through different skins just in case, same result. Everyone acts like the vault never even existed. But there's another theory. Maybe the vault portal was seemingly closed or disassembled on purpose to prevent something worse from getting through. Despite such a big loss, OXR is still defending some of the city that hasn't been invaded yet. And if you want to back the fight too, the best way is simple. Use my creator code in the item shop. If you didn't catch it yet, all loopers are now officially under the wing of OXR, the brand new ultra badass organization that's here to protect the island from anything slimy, crawly, or straight up nightmare fuel. OXR, short for Onimorph Extermination Rangers, is basically an elite squad of agents with one simple mission. Wipe the Hive clean off the map, along with every claw and crunchy little bug shell they brought with them. And before you start thinking this was just another last-minute resistance squad whipped up by island locals after the invasion, nah. Turns out OXR has been around for centuries. At least, that's what you learn in dialogue with General Onyx Winter, the head honcho of OXR. To put it simply, her dad, her granddad, and even his granddad were all out here fighting these bugs long before we showed up. I don't think I even need to point out how many plot holes start popping up here. Like, where was OXR back when demons were tearing up Oninoshima? Did the bugs already invade once before? Or is this just some throwaway family legend slapped into the lore? And does OXR even know about the Dark Presence and the Spirit Realm? So yeah, questions everywhere, answers nowhere. But fine, there is one answer. According to Onyx Winter, OXR has actually been hiding out on Oninoshima this whole time, just chilling, waiting for the Hive to make a comeback. Convenient, right? You hang out in the shadows for a few hundred years, watch chaos unfold all around you, and act like that's totally normal. Honestly, digging into how OXR even ended up on the island feels like a dead end. And the vibe, it looked like Charlie Wen and his new writer were breaking away from that, especially since the whole Demon Hunter's family arc has actually carried forward. But after season 2, yeah, it's the same old tune. So let's just shift to something that actually makes sense. The biggest question everyone's been asking, how did the bugs even get onto the island in the first place? And yep, more holes here too, both story holes and bug holes. Back at the end of last season, right after the whole tentacle event, the first insect burrows showed up near the chopped off limb of the Kraken. At the time, we guessed the blood dripping out of that thing was the cause. It really looked like it worked as some kind of creepy power snack. A bioenergy bar fueling the bugs so they could start multiplying like crazy. Honestly, that theory made perfect sense, especially since we still don't fully know what that tentacle even was or what it could do. But this season, Epic decided to throw that explanation straight in the trash and roll with their own. First off, we finally learned the true origin of the bugs. They're called Onomorphs, which is an obvious clue to their demonic roots. Makes sense too, considering where this nightmare swarm actually crawled out from. So, where did they come from? Turns out the real culprit is a 0 Point shard. More specifically, the portals it creates. Remember back in Season 1 of Chapter 6, when we found out the Dark Presence was keeping a massive 0-point fragment locked away in the Spirit Realm? Yeah, that's the one. It used it to open up the gates and unleash the Hive invasion on the island. Even one of the new Hope Prophecy graffiti teases it, bugs flying out of a portal surrounded by glowing purple shards. But here's the kicker. Why now? Was the Dark Presence just waiting for sunny weather? For some reason known only to Charlie Wen himself, the bugs suddenly learned how to open dimensional rifts on their own. Hope and Jonesy call these rifts access points, and you actually stumble across one during the story quests. But the moment you try to analyze it, the portal snaps shut and shifts into this creepy blood red color, which logically probably means it's linked straight to the Spirit Realm. Kinda tracks since all the teasers already showed the Dark Presence's lair bathed in those same red tones. Coincidence? Doubt it. But then problem is that after the tentacle event, I don't remember seeing any rifts hanging around. Maybe you spotted one? Either way, Epic clearly decided this was the easiest explanation they could throw out there for how the bugs showed up. So fine, we'll roll with it. Now let's check in on Jonesy and Hope. After Superman dipped, the duo moved back into the academy and set up shop in one of the labs. And honestly, watching their constant relocations has been comedy gold. They're like broke college roommates hopping from one sketchy rental to the next. First they camped out near the tentacle zone, then got dragged into the demon mess. After that they ended up at the Resistance base, and later squatted in Supernova Academy, where Hope literally got invited into Superman's Fortress of Solitude. And once Supes left, yep, back to the academy they went. Guess rent's cheaper there. This time, they're poking around what's left of that tentacle. Jonesy's still stuck in his annoying dad role. Charlie Wen shoved him. Hope hit us with another round of anxiety over her prophecies. Turns out, she straight up stopped understanding the meaning behind the graffiti she's been painting all over the island. Well, Hope, welcome to the club. We don't always get them either. But jokes aside, that's actually a real problem. Her connection to the Spirit Realm has weakened, which means she can't clearly predict the Dark Presence's next moves anymore. So her visions are getting fuzzier and fuzzier. And it's stressing her out so bad, she basically turned her whole office into full-blown creative chaos. What can I say? Once an artist, always an artist. And trust me, there are a lot of twists lining up for the end of this chapter. Daigo and Night Rose have already started teasing them. And these two aren't just randos who know of the Dark Presence. They've seen him. Worse, at one point, they were literally under his control, even if it wasn't by choice. And speaking of Daigo, his whole situation? Straight up cringe. Let's not forget, all last season, the Mask Maker was hyped up as some broken OP beast. The kind of guy who could solo not just Jonesy and Hope, but the entire superhero academy for dessert. But the second he got slapped across the face with a tentacle, the so-called terror of the island turned into a softie, apologizing for every little mistake. Like bro, seriously? Where were you the past few seasons when everyone was literally spelling it out? Charging into the Spirit Realm alone is a dumb move. On the flip side, his L actually worked out in our favor, because that's when we learned something huge. The Dark Presence turned the Mask Maker into his personal champion. And that's where it gets spicy. Epic is clearly shining a spotlight on this. Which makes me think, what if the darkness has a whole squad of elite demon mercenaries like him, sent out to handle all the dirty work? If you give our OXR buddies a hand at one of their outposts, they'll actually drop some juicy intel about Oninoshima's future. According to Daigo and Night Rose, the barrier between the island and the Spirit Realm is thinning, and that could lead to some seriously nasty consequences. But here's the real kicker. Daigo talks about some unknown creature trying to smash through that glass wall between worlds. And yeah, it's pretty obvious we're talking about the Dark Presence here, trying to force his way onto the island. The real question is, why? There's a chance he's sensing the 0-point shard Hope's carrying, but honestly, I think the darkness is chasing something way bigger. We'll probably find out more in the next update, since Daigo also warns that the cracks between realms are multiplying fast, and soon, everything could collapse. And I'll wrap it up with the most mysterious detail of the entire season, the monolith, chilling on a mountain not far from Daigo's old domain. Now it's almost confirmed that the monolith has zero real connection to the storyline. Yup, turns out it's just a sketchy black skyscraper-sized rock. Another goofy collab gag from Epic. Most likely, it's just the stage for a Daft Punk mini-concert and surprise. They had a similar glowing monolith back in 2021. So yeah, you can toss your notebooks with all the galaxy brain theories. With like 99% certs. Still, I'll leave that 1% chance for a miracle. Maybe this stretched out Kinder Egg actually turns out to be something wild. But hey, even the so-called story monoliths from last season ended up doing absolutely nothing. So that 1% is looking pretty shaky too. For now, we just keep watching. Now, circling back to Fortnite's screw-ups, it's not all doom and gloom. Believe it or not, Epic does listen to the community, and they actually try to patch up a lot of the problems. At the start of this season, some OG who really knew their Chapter 1 stuff dropped a massive copy pasta, listing every bug, glitch, and broken mechanic in the mode, from weapon systems to busted scopes to some animations bug. And when I saw it, I honestly figured Epic would maybe fix like 2 of the worst bugs. But just the other day, under the tweet with that giant bug report copy pasta, the official Fortnite status account actually pulled up, thanked the author, and promised to patch it all in future updates. Which honestly says a lot. If Epic's willing to put work into one of the least popular modes, then when it comes to the main Battle Royale, yeah, we're probably in good hands. Of course, that kind of reaction didn't come out of nowhere. The post with that copy pasta hit over 1 million views. So really, it all comes down to us. The more noise we make, the more Epic listens. Imagine if all those people who keep whining, Fortnite lore is dead, there's no story anymore, actually voiced their complaints in a constructive way on X. Who knows, maybe Epic would have swapped out the writer and given the whole storyline a new direction. But hey, a looper can dream. Either way, even with all the screw-ups we've covered, the ending of Chapter 6 is shaping up to be pretty solid. So don't miss any of it. Make sure you're subbed, because everything a true Fortnite fan needs is right here. So here's a quick recap of the latest Fortnite update. So far, our so-called saviors aren't really living up to the hype. These elite soldiers couldn't even protect their own outpost near the Kappa Kappa factory. The base is almost completely destroyed and overrun by bugs, and everyone stationed there got trapped. Jade ended up sealed inside a bug egg that we'll have to break her out of. And she's not the only one. Kendo Dago and Night Rose also got cocooned at their own outposts. So right now, OXR is all style, no results. We'll see what Onyx Winter does next. The bugs also caused a new headache for the train, which is now stuck between Demon's Debris and the Foxy Floodgate. Honestly, I couldn't care less about this rusty tin can. Even if it worked, it was pretty useless anyway. The gameplay side, this new update is straight fire. Finally, Epic remembered they've got more modes than just Blitz. And the star of this update? Precision Airstrike. This isn't just another weapon. It's a full-on weapon of mass destruction. Drop one, and it wipes entire POIs and anyone unlucky enough to be in range. The damage is straight up cosmic. But of course, this is Epic we're talking about, so there's a catch. People figured out how to spam them non-stop, which is probably why Epic already disabled the item. Bottom line, it's a super fun item, but limited in supply. No limits though for using my creator code in the item shop. And speaking of fun, all across Oninoshima, you'll run into the roly-poly. Although after hanging out with these little dudes a couple of times, I'm not so sure roly-poly is even the right name. Each bug actually gets its own nickname after your first encounter, and trust me, there are plenty of them buzzing around. They work like a mix between the Rift Cube from last season and the Inflate Bull from Chapter 2 Season 7. Charge up a jump, launch yourself, and bounce off any surface. The stronger the charge, the higher you'll rebound off the ground. Bugs also give you a small dash ability, but it's so minor that almost everyone's just gonna spam the jumps. And honestly, you can cover some serious distance with them. Just don't forget about stamina, because over time, these little slime balls get tired. And if the bar hits 0, they slam straight into the ground and explode. But if bouncing around in bug goo isn't your thing, or if motion sickness kicks in after a couple jumps, OXR's got another option for you, the Hammerhead Chopper. At first glance, I thought it'd just be another transport chopper, but it turned out to be almost an exact copy, just with a different model, boosted HP, and some epic background music. The catch? This beast guzzles fuel like crazy. You'll need to refuel every 1,000 meters. So yeah, always keep a gas station marked on your map. What's even more interesting is that this update left behind a lot of hints about Fortnite's future. Whether Epic did it on purpose or just forgot to clean up the files is hard to say, but there's a mountain of content coming. Data miners already confirmed Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th. His medallion's image is sitting right there in the game files. That item will supposedly ping nearby players who are low on HP. And the cherry on top, Fortnite's 8th anniversary is almost here. No exact info on free rewards yet, but we will be getting a new free skin. The catch? You'll have to install Fortnite on mobile and complete a small set of quests. But let's be real, can an update even count without new skins? Of course not. So, what can I say to wrap this up? The first update of the season came in strong, especially on the gameplay side, with some decent map changes to back it up. Most importantly, the destruction of Utopia City wasn't random filler. It's actually tied into the storyline, and that's the kind of stuff I want to see more of in future updates. Maybe even something bigger, since we are heading into the end of the chapter. Let's just hope all this new content doesn't run dry after the next patch, leaving us chewing on recycled items by the end of the season. Oh, and don't forget to drop a mythic like if you enjoyed this video. Take care and have an absolutely amazing rest of your day, my friends.